Welcome to the very first show of Community Conversations for the 2015 school year. I'm Fremont Unified School District Superintendent Jim Morris, and I welcome you, and I'm so happy you're tuning in to see our first segment of the new year. Community Conversations really offers insight into amazing programs and people and students in our school district. One of those amazing people is joining us tonight, and he's a first grade teacher at Oliveira Elementary. He's quickly earned the reputation for being an engaging, outstanding teacher, and his peers agree. And that's why he was named FUSD's Teacher of the Year last May. It's a pleasure to kick off the new year with one of our bright and shining FUSD superstars, Mr. Prince Padania from Oliveira Elementary. Welcome, Mr. Padania.
Thank you very much, Dr. Morris. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. You know, one of the things we like to do is really highlight outstanding educators. And I remember when you were named as our Teacher of the Year, you gave very humble remarks and talked about the folks who had motivated you in your career. What does it feel like to be the Teacher of the Year when there are 1,700 teachers in our district?
Oh, gosh. I would agree. Before the award, I would say I was a fairly humble, mild-mannered teacher. Since the award, however, I have to be honest, I think it has gone just completely to my head. I've had bumper stickers and T-shirts made up and license plate holders, and I've taken the award and I put it on I've actually mounted to the hood of my truck, and I just drive around honking my horn. But knowing just how many dedicated and great teachers we have in Fremont, it is still incredibly humbling, and I really don't think it's sunk in yet, because I work with so many of these inspiring teachers every day, and it's great to represent them, but to be Teacher of the Year, it's still kind of, it doesn't feel quite real yet. And then added to that, you know, it's been such an amazing year. I just got married, so there's been a lot of wedding planning since the award. So I can say, you know, literally went from the Teacher of the Year award to picking out our wedding cake flavors the next day, which was a strawberry champagne, by the way. But I feel so spoiled this year to have so many things to celebrate and things to be proud of.
Now, I can't imagine, because you mentioned you're recently married to another teacher in our school district. Mm-hmm. What do you talk about at home?
We do talk a lot about our lessons. She is a kindergarten teacher here in the district, and you know, our passion is the kids in our classrooms, and we do talk a lot about their progress and things we're doing for them, and we share lesson plans. We lesson plan together, and you know, I'll tell her about things I do. She'll tell me about things that she does, and we'll really inspire one another. But we also have our occasional Netflix binge watching days. It's not just teaching, but it does definitely, I think, add a different element to our own careers professionally.
Tell me a little bit about your classroom or the response from your school, because your career has really been at Oliveira Elementary. The response from your colleagues and students and families at school when you won the award.
The kids in my class, they were so sweet. The next day, our principal came to my classroom to announce it to the students, and they cheered for me, they clapped, and they were just so excited for me. I think, though, you know, if you were honestly to walk into any of the kindergarten classroom and ask a bunch of 5- and 6-year-olds, you know, who's the best teacher, they would just naturally, as a 5- and 6-year-old, say, well, it's my teacher. I love my teacher. And I can say that before the award, I felt they made me feel like a Teacher of the Year, just with their love, their admiration, and their support, and the same with the families too. And it continues even after the actual official award.
You know, often I think we all know, right? Great teachers are not necessarily born great teachers. That isn't always a career goal, but often they're inspired. Who are your professional mentors? Who was it who inspired you to take up this really tough job of teaching?
I absolutely agree. I think all of us wouldn't be here if it weren't for a teacher who inspired us in our lives, and I've been blessed to have so many incredible teachers. One that I recall really fondly was my sixth grade teacher. And I actually happened to go to sixth grade here in Fremont at Oliveira Elementary. And at that time, my family had just moved to Fremont. We had been moving from place to place and finally settled in Fremont. And I was a new student there. And what I remember most about her was just how welcome she made me feel in the classroom. You know, I was a new kid. I had a funny name, and I wasn't really the most social kid and the most outgoing kid. But she made sure that that I felt like I could express myself, and that she helped me to find, you know, what I was passionate about. I was really interested in drawing and art, and she found ways to incorporate that into lessons and made me feel I was a part of that classroom. Mm-hmm. So that lesson, helping kids to find their passions and to bring it out of them, that's something I feel really passionate about in bringing to my own classroom every day.
And at what point in your life did you decide, I want to be a teacher?
I don't know if I necessarily, you know, entered college or left high school knowing that this would be the career path mm-hmm. that I would end up in. Just through a series of college experiences where we, completing our courses, we had to volunteer in classrooms. I think just the connection that I felt and the impact that I saw was just something that kept me in the classroom. So, you know, as much as interested as I was in pursuing art or writing or a number of other career fields, I think the connection and everything that I experienced working in the classroom kept me in there. And I've brought all my other interests like art and graphic design and technology with me into the profession, and I think it's really benefited my students and my colleagues as well.
You know, one of the things I think we know about great teachers, and we've heard a lot of your colleagues comment about you, is this idea of sharing, mm-hmm. that really the best teachers are the teachers who steal a lot of ideas from their friends and coworkers mm-hmm. and give a lot of ideas to their friends and coworkers. How did that become such a strong part of what you do as a professional?
I feel so blessed to be working at a school where that was just simply the climate that I came into. There's such a culture of collaboration and teamwork that started with our principal and just extended from there to our custodial staff and our office staff, our paraeducators, everyone within our grade level, and then our intermediate team and the primary team. It's something that really pervades the kind of the culture of our school, and so much so that I really consider those people to be an extended family, and that I actually invited them to my wedding just last month. And then when you can take that kind of mentality, that teamwork, collaborative spirit, and apply it to doing what's best for students every day, you can have such amazing results and accomplish so many amazing things with it.
Well, and I really just want to mark something you said that's so important, because you talked about it's not just the other teacher colleagues, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
It's the staff in the office and the custodial staff and the folks who are there making sure the kids have nutritious meals. Really being a great teacher isn't a solo activity. You just don't go in the room and make magic happen. You really need that support team around you, and it really takes everybody working together. It's interesting because typically folks don't see male teachers as much at elementary school. We look at our schools across the district, and for some reason most of our male teachers oftentimes are single subject teachers rather than multiple subject teachers. What was it about elementary students that you said, this is a place where I can really make a difference?
I think what is unique to elementary kids and primary kids specifically is just that for a lot of what we teach, they're learning for the very first time. And what our role as a primary teacher or an elementary teacher is to introduce new concepts to them and to see their reaction to it. You know, their eyes absolutely light up in a way that's very unique to the primary grades. We'll be introducing something new and their eyes will light up, and it's just such a thrill to see. And you're doing so much that It helps them to see their own world, their own lives much more clearly, or to see their world more colorfully. And it's kind of, I would compare it to seeing a child's expression like Christmas morning. And it is Christmas morning when we teach them something new and they get it. And it's that feeling every day. And my first few years of teaching, a lot of people would compliment me and say, I think it's so great that you are teaching kindergarten or first grade. It's great to have a positive male role model in their lives. And I would always say thank you and think to myself, that's great, but wouldn't it be enough just to have a positive role model in their lives? Most recently, though, I've kind of really appreciated how important it can be to a student to see a male teacher in the early grades, just for the simple fact that for a student to look at someone like a teacher or someone in a position of esteem or respect in their own community, and to be able to identify with that person, whether it's based on their gender or their ethnic makeup or their culture, it can be really transformative because it shows them that what their world is and what their lives are, it's really, and they're the ones in charge of it and who can take ownership of it.
And it really is refreshing to hear you share that insight, because as a teacher, one of the comments that we've that many of your colleagues and administrators and the folks who know you as a teacher will talk about is how you work to make every single day important in the classroom. Out of a 180-day school year, to treat everyone as a very important day. Can you talk to us a little bit about what motivates you every single day to give 100%, 180 times?
Well, at the beginning of every year, it's just knowing that each of the kids that walk into my classroom, walking in with their own life story and their own set of experiences. And what really motivates me is finding ways to connect those experiences and their life story to what they need to know and where they need to be by the end of the year. Listening to the stories that explain who they are and why they do the things they do. Finding ways to help them see how it's relevant to their learning, helping them to learn how they learn best. That's what motivates me, finding ways to help them see themselves in their own curriculum and for it to be meaningful for them, whether that's bringing in technology into the classroom or finding ways to bring in music and science into their learning and have everything kind of gel together for one lesson. I think that's what motivates me the most, to make their learning engaging.
Another hallmark of your reputation as an educator is just your dedicated use of technology and incorporation of technology into the classroom. How do you see technology really impacting or affecting how the profession develops, how teachers work with students and reach everyone? Because it's changing so quickly. I can imagine during your teaching career, the availability, the access, and the use of technology probably has changed quite a bit since you've been in this profession.
That's absolutely true. It's ever evolving. I mean, what was new 2 years ago, this year is a bit outdated, and it's something that as a teacher we have to constantly stay on top of and continue to research. For me, I think the best use of technology is to use it in a way that doesn't replace the learning or overtake it, but enhances it. And I've been passionate to use that in my classroom with tablets, using it for assessments, and just a whole array of ways to bring it in and to also to make it accessible to the parents at home so they can support their children at home and continue the work that we do at school.
So what's your long-term career plan? Can you talk about what happens next? What happens after you're the teacher of the year? What's the next goal?
After that, I think my long and short-term goal is simply the 24 kids in front of me every day in my classroom, making sure that they're not only better mathematicians and better readers and writers, not that they're just smarter, but also stronger and more resilient and better problem solvers by the end of the year. And if I can accomplish that, I think that I've met my goals for the year.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And of course, our expectation is you're going to be the Alameda County Teacher of the Year, the California State Teacher of the Year, and the National Teacher of the Year. But being the Fremont Unified School District Teacher of the Year is a huge, huge, well-deserved honor. It's really been a pleasure talking with you, and thank you for sharing your career and your aspirations and all you do representing 1,700 incredible teachers across Fremont.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I hope you'll join us next week on Community Conversations. From all of us at the Fremont Unified School District, we will continue to educate, challenge, and inspire our students.